This is my art trolley, and I'll just show you how I'm using it. If you're looking for something to use to store your paints, this is fantastic. I got this from Officeworks in Victoria, Melbourne, Australia. So as you can see, you can store lots of paints in here. So there's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 7 drawers, and then I've got some deeper drawers over here. I'm actually not utilising all of the capacity of this because I'm just holding my brushes in there. So there you go. If you're ever looking for something to store, I've used little boxes there to keep them separate, and in case they leak, I don't want them going onto the bottom of my storage drawer. So there you go. It's on wheels, which lock. It's just a little clip there that unlocks it and locks it. And then I've got this metal tray at the top, which also comes in handy just to hold things that I need while I'm painting. I can just pull it right up next to me and have the paints handy while I'm painting. So there you go. It's just a storage trolley that I've turned into a very great way of storing all of my art equipment, my paints and brushes. Hi everyone, this is a video I'm making to show you how to make a Mahl stick. This is the best Mahl stick you can make. That is just an attachment for a curtain rod. You can see that. You can get that from any hardware store. Okay, that's going to go onto the end of my Mahl stick, and my Mahl stick is just a curtain rod. It's metal, which makes it strong, so you can have it any length you want. It's quite easy to cut. Now this is one that my husband has already put together for me. There's the curtain rod holder at the end of it, and he's just used a small screw with a Phillips screwdriver head, and he screwed that in securely. So that makes up my Mahl stick. This is my long one. I'll show you how it works. Now I've got my timber set up here, and that just hangs over it. I can bring it across to my painting, and you can see there it's just sitting up against the painting, but I've got a piece of timber at the bottom here that keeps it from touching the canvas. So it makes it stick out just a little bit, just enough for it to be off the canvas, but enough for me to lean on. So that is how you can make a very easy and very efficient Mahl stick. I'm going to show you the setup that I'm using to allow me to use Mahl sticks. This piece of timber here was put together by my husband. It's quite easy to do. I'll just show you the side of it. There you go, and that's, I'll flip it over so you can see. He's just screwed those 2 pieces of timber together. Okay, so that's quite easy to do, and then it sits quite nicely on top of my gallery stretched canvas, and my Mahl sticks hang nicely over it. So you can just see the shot there of the side. It just sits really nicely. You do need another piece of timber down the bottom. If you can see that, that's allowing the Mahl stick to just stick out enough so that it's not touching the canvas. So it rests against this piece of timber here. Now the measurements for the wider piece of timber is 42 millimeters by 19 millimeters, and the thinner piece is 30 millimeters by 12 millimeters, and that's just square dressed pine. Okay, so that's the timber that goes across the top of the stretched canvas, Now I can secure this by putting that down. You can just see that there. And I can just screw that in. Now that will hold it in. That's not going anywhere now. So there's some little tricks that you can use to set up an easel with Mahl sticks if you're doing very delicate detailed work, which is what I usually, which I do a lot. So there, I hope that helps, and enjoy. What I didn't show you is that you can actually position your reference photo on that piece of timber, which extends out. So there you go. That gives you somewhere to put your reference photos for while you're painting, right next to your canvas. Hi guys, I want to show you today an easy way of painting grass. I recently finished a painting where there was so much grass it was taking me forever, and I thought there's got to be a better way of doing this than single strokes. So this is what I made. It's just a cheap brush from a $2 shop. It's stiff bristles, and as you can see, the top of that's about where I pushed the brush into the paint, just the tip, and you can see that it's uneven because I've chipped into the brush with a pair of scissors. And as I was painting, if I didn't have enough strokes that was separate, I just chipped into it a little bit more. Cleaned it of course first and then chipped into it a bit more. So it's quite easy to make. I was very surprised myself to see how easy it was to get this effect using a brush that I've just chipped into with a pair of scissors. So you can see, just get the scissors and just chip into it, and you can't really go wrong. And if you've got any old bristles, old hog brushes, sorry, that you're no longer using, they're ideal for this sort of thing. You can use any size brush for this, and once you start using it, you'll see how much easier it is to get the grass down, and then go over it with a fine brush to get that detailed effect. I'll just show you the painting I'm talking about. Take you for a bit of a tour around my studio. There's the painting that I was talking about. As you can see, there's so much grass. Now that was going to take me forever, so that's why I thought I've got to find an easier way of doing it, and it was just fantastic using that brush. So there you go. Just there are rake brushes around that you can buy, professional ones, but they're not going to give you like very varied strokes, which is what I was after. Nothing too consistent. It needed to be varied, and that's what I achieved by cutting into that brush. So I hope this has helped you, and let me know if you have found this helpful. Thank you.